Hector grew up dreaming in Barca blue, a boy who learned his first defensive steps inside La Masia's narrow corridors, who felt the stadium's shadow long before he ever guarded a top-flight winger. Now barely into adulthood, that same childhood club is quietly nudging him toward the exit, and the decision coming in the last days of the window may be the first real test of how Barcelona manage their most prized asset, their youth. The story is simple on paper, but messy in the heart. Ford has been told he isn't in Hansi Flick's immediate plans this season, a reality that arrives like a cold gust in a dressing room where loyalty and expectation have always been king. It's not a public roasting or a single headline moment. It's the slow realization that despite talent and promise, the pathway to minutes at Camp Nou is blocked by experience and tactical preference, and the club's solution has been pragmatic. A loan, not a sale. Retain. So Barcelona can keep the rights to a player they still believe could be important down the line. From the outside, that looks like mercy. For the player, it's a crossroads. Accept temporary exile for the chance to play every week, or cling to the home that nurtured you and risk stagnation on the bench. Across Spain and into Italy, clubs are taking notes. Mallorca have reportedly emerged as a realistic landing spot, the sort of La Liga environment where a hungry right back can be handed responsibility and tested against the exact opposition that will sharpen his defensive instincts. Como in Sarriá offers a different laboratory. Tactical nuance, isolation battles against wingers who hunt space, and a league that forces defenders to think and reposition every minute. Both paths offer playing time, the single most valuable currency for a teenager desperate to transform potential into consistency. There have even been whispers of Premier League clubs glancing his way, attracted by the modern fullback's blend of forward thrust and technical comfort, but nothing concrete enough yet to erase Barcelona's wish to structure a loan that preserves a future for Ford at Camp Nou. Timing is everything. The U20 World Cup in Chile, scheduled between September 27 and October 19, looms as both a blessing and a problem. If national selectors bring Ford to the tournament, he may spend a month away from his club's rhythm, just as a loaning club is deciding whether to hand him a starting spot. Some suitors, especially those battling relegation or with tight rotation plans, might balk at signing a player who will be absent for crucial early fixtures. Others will see it as a chance. A World Cup showing could be the audition that accelerates his career, or conversely, expose weaknesses that only regular club football will fix. Barcelona's sporting directors must weigh those variables. Development now versus control later, and the preference for a loan keeps the door open both for a mid-season reassessment and for Barca to call him back if he flourishes. For Ford himself, the choice is deeply personal. There are stories of La Masia graduates who left, learned, and returned as better men and players. There are others who left and never quite recaptured the Barcelona DNA. The psychological element cannot be overstated. Leaving the place you love is not simply tactical, it's emotional and fortitude. Off the pitch often decides whether the loan was a success. Coaches at potential suitors will ask more than a can he defend. They'll ask a can he take responsibility, a can he adapt to different managers and systems, and a does he have the hunger to prove he belongs? The answers to those questions will determine whether this loan becomes a launch pad into the first team at Camp Nou or the first step toward a slow fade into the transfer rumour mill. What should Barca fans watch for in the coming days? The names of the club that moves fastest, the length and conditions of the loan, whether there's a recall clause or guaranteed minutes, and how Ford responds publicly. Will he speak of gratitude and ambition, or will silence and a lingering wistfulness tell its own story? The ideal outcome for everyone is straightforward: a season of regular minutes, tactical growth, resilience built under pressure, and a triumphant return to Barcelona as a harder, smarter player. The worst outcome is equally clear: sporadic appearances, tactical mismatch, and a year that stalls both development and confidence. Either way, this moment is a test of Barcelona's academy model and of Ford's own resolve. As the transfer clock ticks down, the narrative is not just about contracts and club colours, it's about a teenager's first real choice and whether an institution that has long celebrated homegrown dreams will let that dream continue to breathe. Keep your eyes on Mallorca and Como, watch the U20 squad announcements and listen for that one line from a sporting director or manager that tells you which path Fort will step on. Because whichever road he takes, this summer could be the moment that defines Hector Fort's career, not as speculation in newspapers, but as the first chapter of the player he chooses to become.